afternoon, Minecrafters, and whoo, got something going on there. My name is Kimberly Quinn, and I'm really kind of excited today to have a chat with you that's sort of related to the last one I just did. I'm making assumptions to make, hopefully, in this year, this is our year, right? This is all we got. It's this minute right now. Our life minutes are right now. Is to, just like the last one, trying not to take things as personally because it rolls into this one, which is trying our best not to make so many assumptions, because which really goes against what the brain wants to do, which makes it a little bit of an uphill push. You know what I mean? So my inspiration today is coming from Don Miguel Ruiz, who is the author of The Four Agreements. And I actually used that book for my Minecraft class for ages. And the only reason I shifted out of it is because, you change things up. But it's not because it isn't great. It's really, really good. My favorite one is probably Don't Take Things Personally. And this one, again, that was kind of inseparable, really, because think about all the assumptions that we make, and they generally don't work out well, right? Because really the only way to know what someone else is thinking or feeling is to ask them. So Don Miguel Ruiz has a really good take on this, which also I'm having another thought with another something I use in my cognitive psychology class, which is Daniel Kahneman's Thinking Fast and Slow. He's really good. So just quickly, like in a sort of nutshell kind of way, Daniel Kahneman separates the brain, very generally speaking, into two systems, system one and system two. So system one is our faster automatic thought process, which the high majority of the time does not work out well for us. That's how stereotypes happen, which does often land in prejudice, which then lands into the discrimination category, which is when all the hurtful, often hateful, bad things happen, right? So they all start with that little jumping to conclusion part of our brain that groups, people together based on, all this stuff. And it doesn't go anywhere good, right? The one exception I can think of is when system one is in gear is when, God forbid it, a toddler's ready to walk out on the road and there's a car coming. Then you just like snatch, just you're not thinking about it, you're not fact checking, you just grab the kid, right? And so that is really the once I can there might be a few more examples, but mostly the automatic part of our brain is like the assumption making machine, because the brain is lazy. Even if you are not as lazy as a person, I am not lazy as a person. The brain is kind of takes a lot of shortcuts. It wants to kind of minimize the effort and energy. And that's it. So basically, the assumption making thing is a shortcut, which is why most often, the high majority of the time, actually does not work out well. So we really want to be aware, right? We can't do what we don't know, but once we're aware, we become responsible. And my good friend Dr. Dave, I bring him up a lot because I actually have that saying on a t-shirt. And it's something I've kept with me because it's true. We can't do what we don't know. But once we know better, we can, we then kind of need to do better the best we can, right? And so, okay, so good. So that's a system one and two. Now, system two is our more slowed down system where we want to reside most of the time. The slow down system two fact checks. And so do I really have all the facts on that person or that situation, or at least most of them? I really want to ask a question about this. I want to maybe give some critical thought and throw that at this. And in fact, I'm thinking of another book I use in cognitive psych, which is Maria Konikova's Mastermind. And it's so cool because it actually compares these systems of thought to Sherlock Holmes, right, and Watson. And so obviously Watson is the the jumper, he kind of just lands on, just automatically, while Sherlock is observant, taking in everything around him before he comes up with a conclusion. Now, where the system one works in Mastermind with Sherlock and with Holmes and Watson is because Sherlock is in that slowed down, observant mode, taking it all in. He occasionally, can get run over by a train. And thankfully, Watson kind of grabs him out of that. So that, Watson has his place, system one has its place, but mostly we want to be Sherlock and really slow that stuff down, because again, the only way we can know anything is to really truthfully is to ask somebody what they're thinking and what they're feeling. Even if we know that person, even if they're your partner for 40 years, still, they're the only ones that have the read on what's going through their mind, right? It's just true. And so when we think about this, all the unnecessary drama it causes, just like when we're talking about taking things personally, it causes so much drama. Now you put the two together, right? Taking things personally and the assumption making, and then you've got a big, huge ball of drama just ready to just bounce at anybody, right? So, and if we take another step further, I talk with my students. Well, actually, I ask them, and they come up with it all on their own because they're in this world of, cell phone saturation, right? Just tech saturation. And already it's difficult enough when we're in the midst, we're right with somebody and they're verbally they're in person, they're verbally saying whatever, and we're making assumptions. That already doesn't go well. Bringing the cell phone into it with texting, oh my gosh, right? Because how many times, even if we seasoned grown-ups, taken something, made an assumption, then taken it personally, made an assumption, then taken it personally based on a text. So an exclamation point, they must be really pissed, right? Or a dot 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 means, I don't know, they're confused or they don't like me anymore. I don't know. Or if they don't answer the text, if somebody doesn't answer a text, and my students laugh at this, especially if they just started dating somebody. This is usually the example I use. And it's right away they go straight to, he doesn't like me anymore, she doesn't like me anymore, they don't like me anymore. It must be that they want to break up with me, they don't want to, whatever. It can't be that. Their phone is dead, they're at the dentist, their mother came to visit them and they went shopping and they're getting some groceries. It can't be any of that. It has to be, I don't like you anymore and I want to break up. And I think the seasoned adult version of that, which can be that too, I guess, but we just interpret this black and white, print as knowing somebody's feelings, which usually goes someplace negative because we are predisposed very primitively or primally to think negatively anyway. That's a conversation for another time. So we tend to jump straight to that and think of all the unnecessary drama leads to unnecessary suffering. So a lot of this can be prevented if we just do those two things. We stop making assumptions and we stop taking things personally. And one last thing is also with verbally, right? But with the text stuff, we take it a step further with my students because since we're misinterpreting most of what we're reading in text, and at least even if it's this much, you get an exclamation point thing. Never mind all the emojis and what they might mean, right? So we're missing. So if we are basing how we respond or how we react, or it's more of a reaction. Reacting is fast, system 1, and respond is slow, right? We want to be we want to be in system 2 and responding slowly. Most of the time, we are in system 1 and reacting like knee jerk, like go. So somebody sends us a text, we proceed to be snarky. We're not sure about what they meant. So then we react based on an interpretation that has that much truth in it since we don't really know. And so then think about it. Think of the chain reaction. It's like, so this isn't based on truth that we know of. Then I react or maybe respond based on what I interpret as. So I'm throwing something back that's also coming up out of a place that's not that's inaccurate because of the inaccuracy. It's like dominoes, right? So nuts. So all that said, this year in 2023, this is our year, the only one we've got at this minute, right? I'm working on it myself, right? We're all works in progress. Let's try to do those two things. Make fewer assumptions the best we can. We set the bar, do our best, right? Make fewer assumptions and take things less personally. Try it the best you can to not do either one. Awesome. This is Kimberly Quinn signing off from my kitchen in northern Vermont. Have a mindful day.